Hello everybody and welcome back. So today's video, we're going to be showing you guys how to make cool animations using Apple Keynote. So what do I mean by animations? Well, stuff like this. You can drop down products, you can add text, thought bubbles, you can make Mr. Talk like this. You can add cool text and intros and titles, lower thirds, all that cool stuff. And you can use pretty much any picture if it has a transparent background. And we'll show you how to get those types of transparent backgrounds. And even a program here on my MacBook that you can download, and it'll actually make the background of images transparent. So let's begin with a simple animation like this. I'm going to show you how to drop down a product or even a logo and add sound to it as well. So let's go into the MacBook. Start with a new document, and you'll see that you have tons of different templates here that you can choose from. Let's just build one out of a basic black template, and all of this stuff here you really don't need. Delete those. So now we have just a blank space here that we can add whatever we want. Now you'll notice here the background fill, we want to have no fill because that will make the background transparent. And we'll show you when you export it later, we'll show you how to export it using the movie option here to make sure that the background is transparent. So let's find an image, and we're going to go to our browser. We're going to type in Keynote, and what I'm going to do is search for an image, and what I want to look for is that little object right there. That is the picture that I want to use. So let's just click into that, and what we can do is simply do a screen grab from here. So if you're using your MacBook Pro, tap down on two fingers and it'll bring up the options, save image as. Now it'll save it here to my desktop, and you'll notice here that this background may not be transparent, but that's okay. If you want to find transparent PNGs, then type in transparent PNG. PNG is the file format. It stands for Portable Network Graphic. And these portable network graphic images can support transparent backgrounds. So that's why we use them. They're actually very good for images that you want on your website with transparent backgrounds. So since we downloaded this to our desktop, let's go there. And here we have the image. Now, you'll notice if you pull it in, it does not have a transparent background. That's not what we want. So let's delete that. And what we can do is download a program called remove.bg. You can find this by typing in remove.bg in Google and download this free app. Now it is a free app, but it only allows you to remove backgrounds, I believe up to 20 images per month for free. Or you can pay a monthly fee or per image after that. So simply drag, drop the image down, and you can mess with the output where you're wanting the file to go in the options. You can see here transparent background. You can also put a color in the background. It will do the size automatically, so you can choose any of these. I'm going to choose the high definition. All right, so now we have the image here. It's done its job. Let's drag it over. So now you'll see that the background is completely gone. So now we can animate this object. So what I'll usually do is I'll put it in the corner here, wherever you're going to want the image to drop from the top here, or whatever animation that you want to do. Let's place it here. I'm going to shrink down this image here to make sure that I'm placing it correctly. And like in the last thumbnail video, this is the 16:9 format. So this will fit into your video perfectly, into your editor. So let's place it right here in the corner. We're going to go up to animate, build an effect, and this will be for the intro. So you can have an intro build-in effect, something in the middle here, and then a build-out effect. So let's build the effect for the build-in, and now you have all these different effects that you can choose from. The one that I use here to make it look like it's dropping down from the ceiling is called Anvil. And there you go. That's the animation that we want. Now, if you want, you see that the box here is kind of larger than the image. So if you tap with two fingers, it'll bring up the option menu. You can click Edit Mask, and you can shrink this down to just the image itself. And you'll see what this will do for the animation. Let's go back to Animate. You can click the duration as well. Let's do a preview. And now you've actually shrunk down the little animation because it was too big before and it kind of goes off the screen. So let's see again. That's perfect. Now you can make it quicker like so, but that's too fast because you can't see anything. Or you can make it longer and it'll be like slow motion, which is kind of a cool effect. So let's go somewhere in the middle and do a 3-second animation. That's perfect. So let's keep that. So remember, formatting, you have no background. Click back on the background here, no fill. So if this is fine, if this is the way that you want it, in fact, let's add some text here as well, just to show you what you can do with text. And you can choose any font you want. Of course, you have all the different fonts in here. Go with impact, and we can make a different animation for this. So we can do drift in like so, and then it'll drift out. You can do dissolve. Let's go with keyboard. So it's going to type it out, and I'm going to do 2 seconds. Let's preview. That's perfect. Now you have 2 different animations. You can time these to come out at the same time or one after the other. So what you can do is go to build order. So if you go down to the start, you can either choose on click or after transition. Now this is not going to make that much of a difference when you build it into a little movie. This is more for your presentation. So you can animate each time you click the spacebar or the mouse. So what we're going to do is we can mush them together so that they'll come out at the same time, or just one right after the other, right after the transition. So let's preview it. So that will go first, and then it'll type it in. So that's 0 delay. So you can put 0 delay, or you can delay it a little bit, whichever you want. But in this instance, you don't want any delay. You want it to come right after this animation. In fact, let's make the Keynote type a little bit faster, and let's preview the whole animation. Okay, that looks good. Let's export. We'll go to movie. We'll go to the resolution and do custom and choose the Apple ProRes quadruple 4. And with this option, it will export with transparent backgrounds. Now, don't ask me all of what this means. If you hover your mouse over it, it does say select to create high quality movie suitable for post-production editing. It doesn't really explain why the 4 4s here, but you can Google it and find out exactly what that means. It does have to do with the format of the video file. So now that you have all these options here, leave everything else the same here. Playback is going to be self-playing, and you can also adjust here the build, what you want the transitions to be timed as. So remember, we put the build together, so it's not necessarily a slide because there's only one slide here. But the build order is the different animations that you have all on one screen. So we can put 1 second in between, or we can go 0 seconds. So let's go with that. Press enter. We can name this Keynote logo. It'll export it to your desktop. It'll do its thing. Now let's go to iMovie and show you what it looks like. So let's build a new movie here. I'm going to take some footage, perhaps from one of my other videos, just for demonstration purposes. Let's take this one here as I'm talking and blabbing and doing whatever. And what I'm going to do is take the animation from the desktop, which will be right here. So it says Keynote logo, only 9 seconds long, but we can adjust it once we pull it into iMovie. Now you notice that I didn't add any sound. You can add sound in here, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So now that it's added here, you'll see, if we just press play, how the animation drops down, and then the text comes right there, and that's perfect. And of course, within iMovie, you can also add the fading effect. So it'll come in like that, and then at the end, you can even shorten this, it will fade out. Or you can choose a build out option in Keynote. So you can make this say, add an effect on the build out, and a favorite of mine is called crumble, and it'll crumble apart like that. And you can just do Apple Keynote. You can have a build out on that as well. We don't need any animation in the middle, and we can, let's try trace out. So that's kind of cool. So we'll leave those animations like that. We'll add these together here, and in fact, we can mush them all together like this. So this will come in first, the Apple Keynote text, then this will dissolve, and then the Apple Keynote text will also do its trace animation. Let's preview the whole thing. Then it crumbles, and that traces out. So that's the whole animation. And of course, you can choose to make the crumble effect take a little bit longer, like 3 seconds. Same with this, you can maybe shorten it. And now let's watch the entire thing again. Then it crumbles, and the animation traces out. So we can go with that effect. Now, if you want to add sound, you can search for whatever sound you want. You can go online. You can download different sounds that you want for free on many different sites. I don't just download it from one site. There are many different ones out there, but I already have a bunch of different sounds added here. So what I'm going to do is go into a file that I have a ton of different sound effects. We have glass breaking, we have crashing, we have ice crash crumble. Now within this is a perfect sound for the crumbling effect on Keynote. We also have the swooshing sounds that you'll notice in some of our videos. We also have sounds like slapping, the auto skid, and the bomb sound. So this you can use for the drop down anvil animation with your Keynote. Now you can add these in Keynote already just by clicking and dragging, but it's a little difficult to time them just right. So what we're going to do is not worry about that for now. Let's re-export this with these added animations, and I'll show you how to add the sounds later. Let's go back into iMovie, delete this one, and now we're going to let's add the bomb sound here, the ice crumbling sound that we want, and what we'll do is just drag those over right now. So each of these sounds will be here ready to go, and I'll show you how to edit these individually. So let's go back to our animation. We're going to pull it from the desktop. So this is the new one. Make sure to delete the old one. Press Command Delete, delete. Now let's add this into our movie. So now you'll notice the sound here, the crashing, we want that to synchronize with this animation right here. So you can simply drag it, and I'm going to shorten the sound effect so you just get the bomb sound, and that actually synchronized pretty good. Now the texting will come in also, and I do have a sound for typing. Let's go back into my folder, and I have a typing sound right here. So that's perfect. Let's click and drag that into here, and we'll use just a small section right there. So we can shorten this, or you can go into it and press Command B. Make sure that the sound here is selected, the yellow box. Not this, not that, but this. And let's choose this right here. All right, so we don't need any of the rest of this sound, just right there. And we might even shorten that depending on when the typing animation pops in. So it starts, if you look closely, right there. So let's keep the cursor there. You'll see that the line stays there. Take this and drag it over till it snaps to that line. Now see, it goes very, very fast. Right at the end of the animation, you can get rid of the rest of this sound. I know it only sounds like 3 clicks, but it does the job. And you also don't need to have this sound effect going that far. You can go right about there, and even though it cuts pretty hard right here, let's fade it out. Perfect. Now right here, it just starts to crumble. So let's keep the cursor there. And now you have ice crumbling sounds. So right there is a perfect sound. So let's chop this little sound bite. And let's find again where it starts to crumble, right about there. So let's snap it to that line. Perfect. And we'll end it right there. And again, you can fade it out just so you have a cleaner fade away on that, so it just doesn't end abruptly. Perfect. Now, you could choose another sound effect for that scrolling away effect here also, so you can play around with it. Right now I have these 3 sound effects. That's perfect. And we can add another one in there if you want. But you get the idea. That's how you can add animations. So you can add simple text if you wanted. You don't have to add the picture in there. You can add almost any type of object or text, plus tons of different animations with Keynote. Now you can also adjust everything here as far as the image. If you go up to your cropping, you can do crop to fill, and then you can make the image larger, but you may lose some of the quality of the logo and the text when you do that. So let's see what it does from the beginning. So now it's bigger, but you can see it kind of loses a little bit of quality. But that's okay. If you want it to go back into Keynote, all you need to do is simply make this larger. And the quality should be a little bit better. But remember, the quality is going to be only as good as this image is from downloading it online. So make sure to get a very high quality image, the highest resolution possible, or the largest size possible, because you can always shrink it down and you won't lose any quality with the image. So guys, it's that easy. Keynote is super powerful. It's not just a PowerPoint presentation builder, whatever you want to call it. You can use it for a lot of different things. If you want to see how to make a thumbnail for your YouTube videos using Keynote, then check out the card up there and you can watch that video. It's really nice to be able to use Keynote and get these super nice, high quality animations, and there's tons of options that you can choose from. So play around with that. You can choose whatever text you want. You can simply do it with simple text like this, add a lower third, or add big bold text like this, and you can choose a variety of animations to play with. So play around with Keynote and you can add a lot of cool effects to your videos, especially if you're using iMovie. Now, I'm not sure if that transparent background will work with any type of video editor across the board. I believe it does because we do use Filmora, and Filmora is, again, a very powerful program. We'll show you some more tutorials on how to put really cool transition effects using Filmora, and also how to add some cool color grading effects or filters in your videos to kind of make them a little bit more cinematic or just a little bit cooler. Now guys, if you're not using Apple, there are other programs in PC that you can use, but I primarily use Apple. It's the fastest computer I've ever had, and this is an older 2013 model MacBook Pro. Now, I've mentioned in other videos the reason why I purchased this, and actually you can pick it up at macofalltrades.com, so definitely check them out. I'll explain in another video more in depth as to why I purchased this particular MacBook Pro and why I purchased an older one. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, if you learned from it, give it a thumbs up, share it with others who may benefit from it, and don't forget to subscribe. Click that bell, that way you get notifications each time these videos drop each week and you don't miss stuff. So we'll see you guys next time. Take care.